Okay, so now we are going to study William Butler Yeats. He was born in 1865 and died in 1939. He was basically an Irish poet. We include the Irish poets and writers into English literature because their works were widely translated into English, and some of them had themselves written in English language also. Yeats basically followed the Romantic tradition in his writings, but there was an amalgamation of realism and escapism also in his works of literature. He is considered to be the last one among the Romantics, and in his writings we find out quite good references of the Celtic tales about the Irish cultural history. His main focus was upon those Irish mythological stories and mythological figures and characters, and most of his works revolved around those mythological elements. And through his poetry, he brought about a revival of Irish literature. So he is considered to be one of the most prominent writers in Irish literature because he actually gave a rebirth to Irish literature. He is a symbolist and he uses very elusive sort of imagery and symbols in his poetry. There are quite good allusions in his poetry, and he is considered to be a master of traditional verse forms. He does not follow the modernists who basically use new styles in their writings. He is a traditional writer in his approach. Although he lies in the era of modernists, but we find quite good links of the classical writers, of the traditional writers in his works. The poetry written in last 20 years of his life is very personal. His poetry is basically divided into three categories. We'll discuss them later. His one of his major works was the translation of Rabindranath Tagore's Gitanjali, which is a song offering poem. Rabindranath Tagore is basically a Bengali poet, a philosopher and painter of 19th century, and Yeats basically received a Nobel Prize for this translation. This translation was widely read and widely appreciated and is considered to be one of the most extraordinary works of Yeats. Then his early poetry, we talk about his early poetry. The poetry in his early age was basically revolving around the Irish myths and folklores. However, his later works are more concerned with contemporary issues. If we talk about his works, we divide them into three main categories. Among them, the first one, which refers to the early phase of his life and early phase of his writing, is basically pre-Raphaelite in its approach, and there we see Yeats as quite a self-conscious sort of person. And during this era, he wrote epic poems on themes of love and mysticism. Then in the middle era, middle age of his writing, he turned into a socialist and an ironist, and here the approach of his writing was modernist. Then we have the third stage, that refers to his spiritual side. The works were based upon spiritualism and imagination, and through this spiritualism and imagination he basically guided his life, and he developed a sort of quite good spiritual sort of meaning to his life. Among his notable works, we have in his plays we have At the Hawk's Well, The Countess Kathleen, The Land of Heart's Desire, Purgatory, The Resurrection, and On Bale's Strand. And in poetry we have A Prayer for My Daughter, that was written in 19... He is basically known more for his poetry and less for his plays. That is why we are not going deep into his plays, but we will discuss his poetry. So in poetry we have the first one is A Prayer for My Daughter, that was published in 1921, and he wrote this poem 2 days after his daughter Anne's birth. and his main focus is about the turmoil and the chaos in the modern world that the people have to face. The newborn people will have to face those chaotic conditions, and they will have to suffer because of that. Then we have Among School Children, which was published in 1928, and it is a poem divided in 8 stanzas, and each stanza has 8 lines. Its main themes were morality and worth of human life, and the work was basically inspired by his visit to convent school when he was 60 years old, and how he revisited his childhood memories, and how he actually compared and contrasted his old life with the children. Then we have Leda and the Swan, that was published in 1928. This poem is based on Greek mythological story of Leda and the Swan. The swan refers to Zeus. Basically, what happens in this mythological story is that Zeus comes in disguise of swan. He is deeply in love with Leda. He comes in disguise of swan and he rapes Leda. And that is the entire story. There are further details to it, and we do not need to go that deep. You can follow it on Google. So in this poem we find an amalgamation of psychological realism and mystic vision, and the poem's structure is based on the Petrarchan sonnet form. Then we have The Stolen Child, that was published in 1886, and it is based on Irish legends. And the themes that are followed in this poem are about the loss of innocence in the modern world, that how modern world basically snatches away the innocence of people, and how they are at loss because of losing that innocence. Then we have Easter, that was published in 1916. In this particular poem, he basically commemorated the martyrs of Easter Rising. Easter Rising was an uprising in 1916, which ultimately led to Irish War of Independence. Then we have two companion poems, Sailing to Byzantium and Byzantium. First one is Sailing to Byzantium, that was published in 1928. Byzantium is basically center of European civilization, a city that is considered to be the center of European civilization and a teaching hub of the spiritual philosophy. So Sailing to Byzantium is about the writer's wish to reach to Byzantium and to learn about European civilization and to develop that spiritual philosophy in them. And through this knowledge, he wants to seek immortality. Then Byzantium was published in 1930, and its main concern is about purification of souls, and it describes the city of Byzantium. Then we have Lake Isle of Innisfree, one of the most Sailing to Byzantium and Byzantium are also very famous poems of years. Then we have Lake Isle of Innisfree, that was published in 1890, another very prominent and very famous poem. It is about the Isle of Innisfree. Isle of Innisfree is basically an uninhabited island. Yeats spent some of his summers in this island when he was a child, and in this particular poem he basically recalls the memory that he had during his visit to the Isle of Innisfree, how he spent his times there, and he is being nostalgic about the island. The poem is divided into 3 stanzas, and each stanza has 4 lines. Then the last one and the most famous one is The Second Coming, which was published in 1920. It was written at the end of World War I and beginning of Irish War of Independence, and its main focus is on the anarchy and violence in the world, the chaos and the fights, the battles, the wars of the world, the bloodshed that is the result of these wars. Its main focus is about that. And Yeats builds this argument that since there is a lot of anarchy and violence prevalent in this world, so now the second coming is quite near. The second coming basically refers to the prophesied return of Jesus Christ according to prophecy and according to the Christian faith and also the Muslim faith. it is considered that Jesus Christ will return back to this world, and he will start his preachings again, and he will bring people back towards God. So that concept is referred to as the second coming in Bible, and he took the title the second coming from the Bible, and this particular poem is concerned with this concept. Okay ji, that's it.